In this video, I'm going to react to the MLS derby between Toronto and Montreal. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. This is the place where I react to music, media, sports, anime, anything related to popular culture. I'll watch it with an open mind and give you my 100% honest reaction to it. And if you could please hit that like button early, I'd really appreciate it. Now, this is going to be a fun one. This has been so highly requested ever since I first started reacting to MLS and the North American soccer scene. I feel like this might be one of the oldest and most deep rivalries in the MLS. I believe this is referred to as the CLASSIQUE. I'm not sure, let me know in the comments if that's incorrect. But yeah, I know very little about either of these teams. Obviously, I'm learning a lot about the MLS, and especially within the last sort of 2-3 months, just sort of getting appraised and up to date on which derbies, are in the MLS, involving who, things like that. And so far, I've seen the New York derby, the Hell is Real derby, the LA derby. So just seeing the Canadian one and seeing how intense the rivalry is going to be really eye-opening. So let's go. This is going to be me reacting to the MLS derby between Toronto and Montreal. Let's do it.
When we take the field against them, there's always going to be animosity.
Oh, Drogba. Drogba played for one of these teams, no way.
The games just feel different. It feels like a different atmosphere.
Definitely stings more when we lose to them.
There's a little bit more emotion on the line for the fans and the people of our city.
I don't spend 2 seconds worried about what Montreal has to do.
We don't hate Montreal.
I don't like their team.
It's not hatred.
Whoa!
I guess passion against each other.
He was just trying to put it nicely. I feel like there's definitely hatred there.
When you're on the field, things flare because you're defending your turf.
It's fierce, it's a battle. There's a lot of hitting, there's a lot of trash talking.
Red versus blue.
Who's the better city?
Welcome to the rivalry.
Yeah, let's do this.
Montreal is interesting because it is so different than Toronto.
We were founded in 1642. York was founded in 1750. And who inhabited York? It was the Americans who didn't want to be part of the new colonies, whereas we established ourselves here, the French Canadians did, and we didn't need to run away from anyone.
We speak French here, so that's the plus. Some people don't understand all the time what you have to say.
There's a lot of people that actually came from Toronto to Montreal because they wanted a city that's a bit more quiet.
We're considered as more laid back, more enjoy the life. Toronto was a lot more about business.
Until the 70s, Montreal and Toronto were like kind of competing to be the financial capital of Canada. At some point, Toronto just exploded and became another American city.
If you look at it in Canada, it's probably the New York of the US.
Because there's a perception that Toronto is the center.
I definitely need to visit Canada soon. Like, there's just so many places that I need to visit, especially considering, we lost the last year and a half, and I didn't get any traveling done, but yeah, Canada looks awesome.
Center of Canada, it's Toronto versus everybody.
Just the different variety of cultures is something really special about Toronto.
Toronto feels like the place in Canada right now. It's cliche, but everyone's just very nice and loving and welcoming, except if you're from Montreal.
Montreal summers are pretty cool. It's a nice city, but yeah, it's not better than Toronto though.
Altidore, he was in the Premier League for a minute. I think he played for Sunderland. Decent striker, strong, good technical ability.
The rivalry's been there even before soccer.
When you're from Montreal, you just grew up disliking Toronto.
You can have a ping pong league with Montreal and Toronto involved, and there's going to be animosity between two cities. That's just the way it is.
It's rooted in something bigger than just the matchups. What really defined this rivalry was the history before that. It was something from the hockey world.
Puis le fait qu'il y a toujours eu une rivalité dans les autres sports, que ce soit au hockey, au baseball, je pense que ça fait en sorte que la rivalité en MLS est automatique, mais très très forte.
Of course, that stuff is just going to bleed in, you know, it's going to, that intense rivalry from the other sports, of course it's going to have an influence on the soccer teams, absolutely.
When Toronto and Montreal became soccer rivals, they had a blueprint of how to be rivals.
In hockey, they haven't played in a playoff game since the 70s. The real rivalry right now is in soccer.
To have a good rivalry, you have to have events that can be passed down, and that certainly happened in 2009, the miracle in Montreal.
The Voyageurs Cup is something that the fans christened, they brought into existence.
It's our own trophy. It's our own tournament for teams just in Canada. You want that bragging right, and that's what you fight for.
Pennsylvania chance to kill Toronto here.
Oh.
So now the task for the visitors is to score 5.
It felt like a miracle at the time. What we needed in that game was something that had never been done. And I just remember the moment Dwayne De Rosario saying, I'm gonna take this team, put them on my back. And he scored a hat trick in less than 30 minutes. The belief in the whole squad just started to go from there.
Wow. Wow.
It's a good one. 6-1 Toronto.
6-1.
It meant a lot for our guys to do it on Montreal soil with everything against us.
TFC hadn't won any MLS Cups, so it really was a different shift in type of energy and focus. And winning that cup really solidified what this team means to Canada as a whole.
That's something that TFC fans can now always hold over Impact fans. And Impact fans can do that as well. And
that's the thing, you need those big moments, those moments of victory, because a rivalry isn't a rivalry without both teams constantly swapping #1 status, you know?
They did in 2015.
In 2015, Toronto was seen as the villain of MLS, and Montreal were the good guys.
The underdog against the big money team. That's a great narrative, right?
On one side, you had Drogba, Yari, and Bernier, and on the other side, you had Jovinko, Altidore, and Michael Bradley was kind of the Lex Luthor of the MLS.
That's a cool little reference there, the Lex Luthor of the MLS.
We were a team that I think was still maturing in terms of our identity and how we were going to go about winning that big game.
Here's Piatti. He has Drogba wide right. He has Bernier in the middle, and it's played through to Patrice Bernier. It's the Canadian who gets the first goal.
Quality finish. I thought he was going to pass it to Drogba for the easy tap, but he took it himself.
But Bernier being the legend he is around here, and his celebration was incredible, and bumping his chest and the crest.
He held his heart, he held his chest, and he told everyone he was a Montrealer. And it was the best time to be at beating Toronto.
That goal meant a lot. And it's just a showing at that moment that, yeah, you're just not that better than us right now.
Here's Piatti. Ignacio Piatti! He gets the goal, and he doubles Montreal's lead.
Oh, Toronto are in trouble here.
Still Patrice Bernier for Montreal.
Oh.
All the way to Drogba. It's
Great cross.
Winning 3-0 at home, knocking out our biggest rival. It was one of the best memories that we've had at Stade Saputo.
It's a night that will live long in the memory for Montreal.
TFC was just a little bit overwhelmed by the moment, right? You didn't have your best players showing up when they needed to.
That was tough because all the offseason, that's all you had to hear about how you got beat 3-0, and they deserved it.
Losing.
Yeah, it has to hurt. Losing to your main rivals in that fashion. Because, you know, 3-0, that's like a comprehensive beatdown, pretty much.
To the Impact in 15 was vital. You have to fail before you can figure out how to succeed, and just getting pasted by Montreal was that moment for TFC.
Then you go 1 year later, I think we ignited something in Toronto.
2016 was all about revenge for TFC.
Toronto looks at this as if they have something to prove, and that's important.
Centuries of rivalry between these two
Got off to a great start. There was some drama with the way the field was lined.
The 18-yard boxes were a little
too narrow.
Wow.
Talk about the painted lines, if you want or not. Whoever on the Toronto side thinking that we manufactured that. So
what? So they thought the lines were too thin? Come on, guys. This is a lot of effort just to thicken some lines.
That there was some sort of a mind game.
You have one job. You have one job. Paint the lines the way that you've always painted them.
We got off to a terrible start. We were down 3-0, I believe.
It's a Doro for
Oh,
Montreal.
class finish.
Oyongo will have a crack at goal.
Ooh, Montreal.
We talked about that at halftime, and we're able to claw ourselves 2 goals back into the tie.
Oh, the comeback is on.
Montreal managed to win that game. Everybody thought that's it. That's the season where Montreal is gonna go all the way. And then Montreal went to Toronto.
Cold, rainy nights, man. Love it. This is when we see who the real men are. Can you play when it's cold, when it's rainy, when you don't want to be out there, you know, you'd rather be somewhere warm? Let's see what you got.
Playing at BMO, the atmosphere was amazing. Cold, rainy, everything that a big playoff game should be.
One of these 2 Canadian teams will be crowned Eastern Conference champion.
I've never felt a place shake the way that I have felt BMO Field shake.
It was exciting, you know, it had everything. Tackles, it had goals.
That haircut. Oh. Yeah, he's a unit. Altidore, big unit.
Fans were very energetic.
Mate, look at the passion. This is what we want to see.
There was an incredible amount of concentration and intensity that was going into that game that came down to a play in overtime.
Oh man. 6-5.
It was dramatic, and everybody within TFC showed up.
It was an electric atmosphere. Definitely one of my favorite moments.
We had heard the huge numbers of television viewers across Canada and even down into the US, and that's for me the first time I really felt like this rivalry was real and it was big.
Man, these are the moments. Those are the moments you live for, man. Those are the moments that you remember, that you sit back and you think, you remember when we did this, when we were there? Yeah, man.
Winning in 17 was good, but you have to do it repeatedly. And that's something that I'm sure Impact fans will love to remind TFC fans of. That yes, you won a domestic treble, and that's something no MLS team had ever done. You also missed the playoffs the following season.
A year ago they won it all, but just 12 months on, they're eliminated from contention in the playoffs.
Like I told you, 2016, they maybe beat us in the leg. By the end of the day, they lost the cup final.
The series we had with them in the playoffs, those were epic. Epic emotionally, epic in terms of the level of game, and that's what you want to live.
Jovinko into the traffic, the header, save off the line, the rebound is in!
2019, Montreal has to make a statement. You know, it's been a while since they lifted that cup, and I think everybody's kind of missing that. You know,
those games, they generate emotions and history. Tell the story about 2 cities.
When there's one national anthem, I think that's when things get intense.
This is one of those games that has that extra feeling.
It's special, it's unique. You wouldn't want to get caught trying to compare it to anything else.
There's a true disdain for each other. Maybe the cultures don't mix very well.
I think it means the world to be able to boast that they're the best team in Canada.
Is the best rivalry in MLS.
Man. Epic, 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 epic. Woo, man, that was awesome. I love watching these videos made by by MLS about the rivalries. They really make me want to go watch some football, honestly. To be at that playoff game, the one that was at night, can you imagine the intensity, just seeing both sets of guys like really tackling hard, playing for the shirt, you know? That's what you want to see out of your football teams. It's just, yeah, the Canadian Classique, one of my favorite rivalries in MLS. It has to be. I need to get to one of these games ASAP. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and keep throwing the recommendations my way. I know I say it all the time, but they genuinely help me out, because if I know you enjoyed watching something, I'll definitely enjoy reacting to it. So like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, keep throwing the recommendations, and I'll catch you in the next one.